See how long we can drag this into the meeting?
I call the Planning Commission meeting for July 6, 2023 to order. We'll begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, will you call the roll?
Mr. Varga?
Here?
Mr. Crocker?
Here.
Mr. Haddon?
Here.
Mr. Perkovich?
Here.
Ms. Small?
Here.
Mr. Tiedemann?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, June 15, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga?
Yes.
Mr. Crocker?
Yes.
Mr. Haddon?
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich?
Yes.
Ms. Small?
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes. On tonight's agenda, we have 4 public hearings, and we will follow this format. First, the applicant will have the opportunity to explain what they would like to do at a particular location. Second, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this proposal will be given the opportunity. Finally, anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be afforded the time to do so, or some people may just have questions, and we'll try to get those answers. And with that, we have a conditional use permit to allow outside dining and/or drinking at 8455 Station Street. Is that applicant here? Yes. Please come up, give us your name and address. Tell us a little bit about what you want to do regarding your outside dining and drinking.
So as of right now, it's a restaurant and bar. Just essentially want to continue the outside entertainment, looking to continue having people be able to drink and, come into the restaurant, eat their food.
Just give us your name and address real quickly.
My first name is Dennis Baker. Address is 8455 Station Street. But yeah, we want to just continue with the conditional use permit, what already allowed from the last owner.
Thank you. Is there anybody wishing to speak in favor of this proposal? Anybody wishing to speak against this proposal? With that, this public hearing is closed. Kathy, anything from the administration?
Just to clarify for the Planning Commission members, when this was originally approved, back in, last approved, I should say, in 2010, this was the conditional use permit. So the applicant is correct. There was already approved for restaurant, outside dining and drinking, and the recreation component. However, they are adding the live music, which, as you note here on the amendment in 2010, recorded music was the only thing permitted. So that's why we're doing it as a public hearing, to just reintroduce the live music component. And the conditions that are presented in the staff report are essentially for both items, 1 and 2. We'd like it to be kind of considered as one comprehensive project. And we have some conditions, which I'm happy to answer any questions on those in which we've outlined in the analysis in terms of the use of the stage and the live entertainment. So.
Thank you. You've read the staff report?
Yes.
And you agree with all the conditions?
So I don't agree to everything. I do have a question about number 4. It does say a 4-foot high black iron decorative fence shall be installed. We're looking to get a 6-foot privacy fence instead of the 4-foot fence, and the reason for that is because of the height of the stage at 14 inches puts you at 2'8". And when you stand on the stage, which is under the 3-foot law that's required, so we would have to have it as a 6-foot, at least a 5-foot fence, but they don't make 5-foot. It's either 4-foot or 6-foot. So we're asking for a 6-foot privacy fence instead.
Okay. Kathy, any issues with that?
Just to clarify, that's item number 3, and no,
Yes.
as long as it's in line with the building and not in front of the building.
Correct.
Then the 6-foot would be acceptable per code.
Anything from the commission members?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Tim?
when you say privacy fence, what are you thinking you want to put up
So we were looking between the two, and also discussing with Larry, between either doing a wood, like shadow box fence, or doing a white vinyl fence to go towards the back. He did say that the wood would look better with the building and everything, and it would be maintained. It would be either painted or stained, and kept along the roadside.
And a couple of questions. Where the proposal is to put the fence, I was out there today right before the monsoon hit. And the way the property is set up, you've got the brick, you got some grass, then you've got
Correct.
some concrete, then some dirt, then some more. So what are you going to do with that area in
So what we're going to do actually in the back is we're going to cut off part of that, kind of where the arrow's at right now. Kind of some of that concrete is going to be cut off and become on the outside of the fence. talking with Larry, he doesn't know if we need to remove the concrete yet or if it can stay there. But it would go over to where the additional, or where the already existing netting is for the volleyball court. So we would have one piece that would go across the front, but that's just to connect to the pole that's already existing.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with 6 conditions?
Second.
With the one condition, number 3, changed to 6-foot fence?
Yes,
Rather
6-foot
than
fence.
4-foot fence?
Privacy.
Privacy fence.
Right.
We want to stipulate the type of fence, because in here it's wrought iron. We want to say,
Yeah, I would like
Okay,
to,
well,
I would like to
wood.
do wood, if that's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, like a natural wood fence.
6-foot wood
I mean,
privacy
yeah,
fence.
okay, perfect.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize.
Yeah,
I have
no
one
problem.
other question. Pulling into your parking lot, the first thing I see is a dumpster and a grease dump.
Do you, are you guys okay if I put a fence up that would contain those?
I would love for you to put a fence
I mean,
up,
I don't,
yes.
I would love to do that. That doesn't bother me at all.
I just think it
can't
would look
also-
better to kind of conceal
also
that a little bit.
Don't like where it's at. I would
Yeah.
like to move it over more,
No.
but I didn't know what I was allowed to do. So if I can do that, I'd love to put like a gated thing in there and make waste management work instead of dumping the trash all over the driveway.
Typically, that's what we require, is that
Okay,
it's
yeah, I
hidden
don't know
from
why
view.
it's not there already, but I will definitely get something built in. I can have it happen at the same time as the fence. When they put the fence in, I can have them do that as well.
Right, so we'll amend the
amendment.
motion to, with a 7th condition,
Okay,
requiring that the
the dumpster area.
dumpster and, you say you got a grease
Yeah,
trap
grease, yeah, it's
next to it?
grease, basically a grease
Okay,
dumpster, so
the-
both of those will go inside a,
Inside a
Okay.
fence enclosure with
Okay.
a self-closing gate.
okay.
Self-closing
And now,
gate.
does it need to have the concrete things outside of it? I mean, that's completely up
Bollards,
to
you
you.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, those.
Well, he'll have to meet code, so we'll just go.
Well, okay, so then
You'll just,
we'll-
yeah,
okay.
review it with the building
Okay, I'll talk to
department.
Larry.
Right.
Perfect.
So again, we're proposing to accept with 7 conditions.
Yes.
Motion needs a second.
Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga,
Yes?
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Haddon,
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes. Conditional use permit to allow a recreational facility at 8455 Station Street. That applicant is still here.
Listen to that.
Tell us a
Oh,
little bit
yes,
about
yeah.
that.
No, you're not done, yeah, right.
Oh,
Thank you guys very much.
Well, we're saying it twice?
do we need to, it's 2 public.
Yes.
Mr. Do you have anything more to add?
That's it?
Is there anybody wishing to speak in favor of this proposal? Anybody wishing to speak against this proposal? This public hearing is closed. Kathy?
Again, we just request for the record that this be included all on one conditional use permit for better record keeping.
Okay.
So the previous vote,
It would be a motion to approve with the,
previous result?
with 7 conditions.
With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with the previous 7 conditions.
Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga,
Yes?
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Haddon.
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We have a conditional use permit to allow a recreational facility at 7516 Tyler Boulevard, Unit 123. Is that applicant here? Yes, sir. Come up, give us your name and address. Tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Mike Hope. The address is 7516 Tyler Boulevard. And what we would like to do is just continue the conditional use permit that was currently at that facility for light recreational facility use.
Okay. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this proposal? Anybody wishing to speak against this proposal? This public hearing is closed. Kathy, anything from the administration?
Mr. Chairman, we have 3 conditions noted.
You read the staff report and you agree this to the 3 conditions?
No, sir, I don't know which ones.
Very last, bottom of the page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Those are fine. Absolutely.
That's great. Anything from the commission members? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with the 3 proposed conditions.
Second?
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga,
Yes?
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Haddon,
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We have a conditional use permit to allow a medical office as similar use at 7325 Production Drive. Is that applicant here? Please give us your name and address and tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
Thank you. Rick Osborne Jr., 7050 Jackson Street, Mentor, Ohio. And I have both the landlord and the tenant here to answer any questions, but essentially, we're looking at filling up a existing office building, which is in the industrial district, for a therapies office. And they are in Mentor now. They've been expanding. They're currently in about 2,000 feet. And this is, they're growing right now into about 8,500 feet, so. Okay. That's it.
Thanks. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this proposal? Anyone in opposition? This public hearing is closed. Kathy, anything from the administration?
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 conditions noted.
And Rick, you read these and
We just wanted one clarification about the number 1. It said something, we understand, of course, it's going to be, there are ADA accessible parking spots there now, but the curb ramps, right now it's not on a curbed ramp, it's more of a stopping block. So just want to understand that better.
Mr. Chairman, that is a recommended condition of the Engineering and Building Department. It's just a standard condition. I think as long as it meets the handicap accessibility requirements of the building code, then we're fine. So it would be something we just want to verify with the building department. So.
That'd be great. Yep.
all right, anything from the commission members?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Varga?
I just have a question. Was this all one tenant at one time?
I believe it's been separate tenants, but Bill,
It was one tenant when I purchased the building, and
Hey, Bill, will you come up, give us your name and address if you're gonna, yeah. Speak into the mic, please.
hi, my name is Bill Chirasso,
Could you spell that last name?
Cheraso.
Thank you.
And the building, when I purchased it, was one tenant. Right after I purchased it, a second tenant moved in and took most of the building for an accounting firm.
Okay. No, and this is a conditional use permit, so it's really not an issue with that. It's almost a question I have with the city. And that is, I have no problem with the conditional use permit, but could you make a note, I don't think it has to go on this record, but could you make a note that the building department checks the exit lengths of travel and the number of exits? I don't have anything I can really measure, and there's like a dead-end corridor on one side, and I'm not making that an issue of this review or this hearing, but I would want them to check that when you go ahead and get a building permit and they review the plans. And I know they may do that.
They do.
They do that
Yep.
anyhow. But I just made the observation that maybe there might be some exit and length of travel issues.
That was an issue when the accounting firm moved in, and we did add 2 exits
Okay.
on each
Well,
side of the building.
It may be fine, and I didn't do any
Yeah.
calculations myself. I just wanted to put that concern on the record. It's not an issue with the conditional use permit.
Sure.
Thank you. Anything else from the commission members? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with the 4 conditions.
Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Haddon,
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes. Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
So under old business, number 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 will all remain on the table. And number 10, the applicant is asked, so I'll entertain a motion to add number 10 to the table.
So moved.
Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Haddon,
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes. Preliminary site plan of an industrial building at 8618 Twin Brook Boulevard. Is that applicant here? Please come up, give us your name and address, tell us a little bit about what you want to do.
Robert Zerby, 10,009 Little Mountain
You
Road,
gotta
Concord.
come over to the mic over here.
Outside?
Yeah. And generally, this is a site plan, but we'll give you some architecture review so you kind of know what we're looking for when you come back. So-
Sure.
But let's talk about the site here first.
Robert Zerby, 10,009 Little Mountain Road, Concord. What I propose to do is to build 2 multi-tenant commercial buildings and 1 building in the back. The back building is going to be my personal building where I store equipment, but the other 2 buildings are going to be strictly rental units.
Kathy, anything from the administration?
Maybe the applicant could speak to the, on site, there's a fenced-in area behind the construction building. We're assuming that that's outdoor storage, but it needs to be identified on the plan if it is, as well as the actual surface material, the screening around it, because we do have code requirements with regard to that.
That was going to be just storage for equipment. I have excavators, dozer, so it was going to be fenced in, and it was going to be a gravel lot.
It has to be improved. And we can give you that section of the code, but we do have specific requirements on an improved surface rather than a gravel. And then also the screening has to be higher than the equipment itself. I don't know what kind of equipment you're gonna put back there, but 8-foot minimum on the height of the screening. Again, we can provide you with that section, that code section, so you understand what.
What's the improvements of the paving that's required offhand, do you know?
Not gravel, just, concrete or asphalt.
Oh, these are machines with tracks. Okay.
Rubber tracks or
No,
metal tracks?
Steel tracks. So concrete wouldn't be, I'll just tear it up. I mean, seeing that it was so far in the back, I didn't see that it would need asphalt or concrete. I mean,
What
the rest
kind
of it's all going to be paved.
What kind of excavator is going to be back there? How big a?
I currently have the old train depot right on the opposite side of where the gentleman was for the restaurant. So I have dozer, skid steers, excavators, all with steel tracks. Nice equipment, not.
Yeah.
So you can't park that on concrete.
Right. How big's the excavator? That's what I'm asking. Is it 50 ton?
150, 38,000 pound. I have a 38,000 pound, a 20,000 pound, and a 15,000 pound.
So if you lay the boom down, that's still 10, 12 feet off the ground, right?
That is correct. Correct.
So how tall's the fence got to be if the machine with the boom down is 12 feet tall?
Unless he requests a variance from those requirements, but that's all under 116104H.
I'll have to request a variance because 2 doors down, the concrete guy's got all his equipment stored behind his building.
It's a newer code requirement. It was established in 2020, so existing uses, unless they make an improvement to the site, we don't mandate that they upgrade. So it's kind of outlined in black and white. So again, a variance could be requested with what their concerns are.
Right. Because you can't drive a 40,000 pound machine on asphalt or concrete.
Correct. You can.
Once.
But it'll turn into gravel over time. It's not gonna sustain.
Okay. Mr. Varga.
And you move this equipment from this location on a flatbed, a trailer, or?
Sure.
I mean, you don't drive it anywhere else other than storing it off
Correct.
behind the building?
So it would come in on a trailer, correct?
Right.
Offload and be parked there.
Under the new code, have we made exceptions
Not
for
yet.
excavators or?
Nobody's requested.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Mr. Chairman, under the current plan, the units are listed as storage units. Was that something that was changed, or was that an oversight?
We clarified it, yeah. They put it on the drawings wrong. They're multi-tenant rental units.
Okay. Thank you.
So Kathy, could you speak a little bit about that? Because
Well, the main thing with the multi-tenant, and it's fine, it's just that each one will have to come in for an occupancy permit to verify the use for compliance. So that's standard with any other type of rental unit that we have in the city. So if it were just an all-storage building, it would be one use. But with this, we'd have to verify the use, which is what we can recommend it as a condition under item 3.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Varga.
I noticed that, I guess it's the building 1. Is the front of the building, I guess that's the front. The front is 2 stories at that one building?
So, yes, the first units at the street, I did 2 stories to give them aesthetics. And then it'd be almost like somebody could have a nicer office on the 2 end units. And then the rest will just be industrial rentals.
But let's see, do we have another?
That's what the elevation shows.
Yeah, so that's the front and back of elevation of one of the buildings, but the other building is
It's a mirror
of it.
image
I see.
to the other side.
So the street, the face that faces the street has the windows in it.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And these are not storage units, but they're tenant spaces. Is there any consideration for putting other windows, like this long back wall?
No. Because most of them are similar. All the buildings that you see down the street, they're similar. The one right next door to it is a multi-tenant rental. I think the next 4 are the same things. You get a garage door, you get a man door, you get a little office, a bathroom, and people run little businesses.
Well, we're not doing the architectural review now, anyhow. Yeah, we'd want to see colors and
Correct. Oh, yes.
and those kinds of things.
Definitely.
And, I just have the reaction. It's not really kind of a criticism or anything, but that back elevation is pretty deadly. I mean, it's just
straight
and two materials, and it goes on. I don't have anything on the top of my head as to what you could do to make it be less severe, but. And then the other comment, I think it might be I don't know if it was mentioned in the conditions. So if these are individual tenants, you're going to have individual rooftop units on each of these tenant spaces?
No, there's no air conditioning.
Oh, well, there'll be heating.
There'll be heating. There'll be heat.
Would there be a rooftop unit for heat?
No, there'll be interior
okay, so there won't be any equipment on the roof.
There won't be any equipment on the roof.
That was where I was going
Correct,
with
yeah.
this, was what was on the roof. And so,
No.
so there'll be nothing on the roof?
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
Mr. Chairman?
Small.
I know this is not an architectural review, but can I ask what kind of materials you were looking at on the street-facing portion of the building?
We're still working on that.
Okay.
Right now, it was metal siding with the brick, with the split face as the rest of the building. But, I mean, that's not locked in yet.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to add a comment that I appreciate the fact that with such a small frontage that you actually spent a little time to try to make that front on both buildings look a lot nicer, and I think your landscape plan too is really going to help that. So it looks like you're doing a lot more landscaping than the typical person does, so I commend that. Thank you.
I do have one other question.
Mr. Varga.
I'm just, is it necessary to set the 10-foot side offset? Does that meet the requirement of the fire department? I mean, is that attempting to be a fire lane to go around the building?
No, that's just the...
It's just a setback.
Setback,
right.
correct.
Okay.
So let's circle back to this outside storage. Something we would address now under the site plan, right, Kathy?
You could, yeah. I mean, the condition as it reads right now is that to comply with section 116104H for outside storage. and provide evidence of materials and screening on the final site plan. So if they go by route of a variance request, we would just have to submit that with the next package. So that would have to come before the final site plan is submitted.
Okay. So I think what you do is measure your tallest machine. And when, you're gonna have a carry-all come in here, right? They're gonna drop your machines off.
Correct.
And it's gonna be fenced off across the front of your building.
Correct.
You won't see it, anything behind the fence.
Correct.
Apply for a variance based on weight of machines and,
Yeah, and so the other thing is that it does say minimum 8-foot high fence. If there's any variance from that, that should be taken into consideration as well.
yeah. So you got some things to look at. I also don't know if we want a 16-foot tall fence.
Right.
Well, right, and that's what I mean. There's that requirement that it says it has to be, the inventory shall be stored at a height no higher than 1 foot below the height of the fence. So that would be the varied section as well.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Just to go along with that, I think that because of the location of the building and the way the fencing is, that this is somewhat hidden, especially from the street frontage. I would assume that if you did a study of a line of sight, even with a certain height fence, that might just clear it. You might be able to hide that. Yes, it would still require a variance, but at least you could prove then that things would be hidden.
Sorry, Mr. Perkovic. I got two looks when I said that.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Varga.
You're just showing us where this, your office is going to be, that building. And you didn't show us any elevations or anything. How tall is that building going to be? Is that 2 stories or 1?
1 story.
1 story.
It's going to look just like the other buildings.
I see. My only thought was maybe something with the roof might hide the view of whatever's behind it.
I guess if I park the excavator behind the building, you won't see it.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think out of the box
Yeah,
there.
no,
And the concept of, I'm just thinking of how this works. You pull in a piece of equipment on a flatbed. Are you going to back that in next to the building? And
I have it
unload
so I could literally drive right around that building.
Oh, okay, so you can offload it.
I could pull right in the back, offload, and pull right
Okay.
back out.
So it's conceivable that the parking area on either side of the building could be a more a finished pavement, and if you go for the gravel surface, it might just be the triangle in the back.
Possibly.
I'm just trying to see.
I would leave it all gravel if I'm gonna,
Right.
because I have the parking in the front of the building, you know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
wouldn't.
Well, that's all. Thanks.
Because what's gonna happen is there's gonna be doors on that building to drive the equipment in. So if we need to work on it, store it, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Kathy, do we have enough here?
I think so.
With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with the 9 conditions.
Second.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Mr. Varga.
Yes.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Haddon.
Yes.
Mr. Perkovich.
Yes.
Ms. Small.
Yes.
Mr. Tiedemann.
Yes.
Mr. Cook.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Kathy, you had something?
I actually do not. I need some more clarification from the developers, so I don't have anything right now.
With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
So moved.